was just thinking, it's about time From Dusk Till Dawn got a remake.
Yeah, well, we're reading minds there, like, so.
Aside from that unfortunate business, everything is hunky-dory.
Hello, and welcome to Woodshed Reviews, where we look at films old and new, good and bad. On today's show, we're looking at Sinners.
Papa's here. Papa's here.
What you come back for?
Another collaboration with Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, I thought of something. This film stars Michael A. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan.
That's the joke.
I mean, I didn't know anything about this film, really.
No, I think we both went in blind, so I don't know if that was a good or bad thing, because it's quite a deep film, a lot going on.
Yeah, aye, but I kind of think, I think we were talking in a way there, I kind of avoid trailers and stuff like that, because it gives a lot away, and I'm going to guess that, we'll look at this trailer later on for editing this film and whatnot, but I'm going to guess that it probably gives more away than I knew going into the film.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of happy with not watching the trailers and not knowing much about it, so.
For sure.
You keep dancing with the devil. One day he's going to follow you home.
So it's a film directed by Ryan Coogler, who's probably most well-known, directed the first Creed and the Black Panther films. And I like Creed, and Black Panther films for me were kind of forgettable. But I always kind of thought, he's probably got something more in the chamber, it felt like. And I think this is probably, a good kind of start, and it's nice to see an original idea.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
In the cinema, and it's I mean, we're saying sort of Dusk Till Dawn as a reference, but it's a very small jumping off point,
Yeah, it's a lot more going on than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Wrong.
We're set in the 1930s Mississippi area.
Yeah.
Two are the twin brothers. They say the one's older, one's younger, do they? At one point, the Michael B. Jordan character.
You referred to the other one as his cousin, but I don't know if he was just having.
Yeah, they say they're cousins at the start, and then
I think they're twins.
I think they're supposed to be twins. That would the only thing that would really make sense.
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
Obviously, great trick photography and all that going on these days. It's just kind of seamless.
There are two of you.
There's just one of us.
Just one.
Must be seeing things.
They're returning from Chicago.
It was mentioned they worked with Al Capone?
Yeah.
So they're kind of gangsters.
But they've ripped him off and ripped everyone else off, and they've flown from Chicago to come back home to, did it say the name of the town? Small town, Mississippi, basically.
Yeah. To set up a juke joint. They basically buy a big barn shed.
And they buy it in the morning from a sort of white supremacist kind of guy, and they want to have the opening night that evening.
Yeah.
So we're following them around town for the first half of the film, setting it up. They're recruiting local musicians that they know. They're getting back in touch with people that they haven't seen they've been away for quite a while, 6 or 7 years, I think they say.
Getting the food organised, getting signs made. It's a bit stressful having to organise that. Same day you buy the...
Yeah, aye, yeah.
You throwing a big event tonight?
Your money come with blood.
All money come with blood, baby.
And I was really enjoying that that section of the film. I think. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, I was wondering where it was going.
Right.
I was enjoying it. It's quite intriguing. You just knew something had to happen. Something big was going to happen.
Well, I guess the teaser at the start kind of tells you that it's not quite as straightforward as it's going to be. But I wasn't quite prepared for where it kind of went.
Yeah, because the night starts and you got your music and it starts to get surreal. I think there's a great moment where I think does Sammy have some sort of supernatural powers or something?
There's an introduction where they say that certain people can play music that's so connective and so powerful that sort of it transcends time
Yeah.
and barriers and all this kind of stuff. Good old southern black kind of hoedown that's kind of going on, blues and rhythm and all that stuff. But then suddenly there's funk guitarists, there's rappers. It's not a literal sort of a like transformation that's happening, but
It's about the energy, isn't it? And the
yeah. And that was a
spirit
really
of the
great,
moment.
really
yeah.
great sequence where I was kind of like, wow, okay, this is definitely taken me somewhere I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that definitely started to change then.
Yeah.
And then we get the From Dusk Till Dawn sort of
Yeah. Aye.
I
twist.
love you.
I love you too, sir.
That's all quite sudden, that sort of stuff, which I felt maybe needed a little more kind of an inroad to it, maybe more of a setup.
Yeah, because we don't get much of that, do we?
And then it kind of leads to a sort of a barnstorming showdown where this sort of trio kind of come to the juke joint, which is in full swing at this point. They want to come in and join in. They want to be invited in.
Yeah, classic vampire lore, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're the man of the house, and I'm not coming in until you invite me.
You're invited.
Thanks very much.
He's a vampire, basically, and he turns the couple into a vampire. So then they're like a trio who are very musical as well.
Yeah. So what does that say?
I have no idea. I mean, I suppose we need to say that we've kind of like, we were sitting in the theatre watching this about half an hour ago, so we haven't had much time to kind of think about it, read up on it or anything like that. And they have a big old showdown. Yeah, lots of bloody stuff going on in that.
Yeah.
Everyone dies almost, but not quite. Sammy survives.
Yeah.
And then later on we find out, well, we'll leave it there just now, will we?
Still hurts coming back.
Why you here, Smoke?
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of stuff you can read into it.
Yep.
It's all about, I don't know, cultural identity, protecting that.
Yeah, well, obviously there's a sort of racial tension to it and stuff. It's not even so much that, like with the Barnes, not inviting the white banjo playing trio in is because they're being racist, but it's like this is going to stoke racial tensions with other people and all that kind of stuff, and they're not ready for that at that moment. So it's kind of commenting on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I guess the fact that like the three vampires who initially, four of them really, well, the three initial ones are white. And Haley Steinfeld's character, although she's white, she's got like black ancestry, so that's why she's kind of part of.
Yeah.
She's invited in. You know, I can't remember what she said. Something about her dad or something like that. I can't quite remember. Feels like there's a lot to kind of dig into, which I was expecting. You know, but not. I wasn't expecting this sort of time traveling musicians and vampires and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know. I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of stuff.
Overall feelings about it.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of these films that you kind of have to study or watch again, and it's almost quite often I watch films and I'm introduced to subjects or ideas, and I feel like I need to learn more about this.
Yeah,
and it's one of those. It's like
a lot of history steeped in that
yeah.
sort of stuff, and about the music. They talk about musicians and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, you can kind of. I mean, definitely wasn't lost, but maybe you had to kind of definitely concentrate. There's probably a lot going on character-wise. I kind of felt. The twins. It was. It's hard to tell them apart, but they look the same, obviously. Yeah.
They almost. You needed something a bit more.
To differentiate them a bit.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
You throwing a big event tonight?
But yeah, I think you had the two of them, they had their different personal dramas with girls that they reconnect with. One's had a sort of, I don't know if they were married, but they've had a child that they lost. So that's going on. There's also like the Haley Steinfeld on the other side, with, a relationship with him. We've got Sammy's kind of stuff, and he's got a girl that he likes who he invites to the juke joint. We've got a lot of other characters that are placed about. It felt like there was a lot kind of going on.
Yeah.
Maybe just a bit too much for where I was kind of like going, okay, you know. And maybe it didn't feel like everyone kind of got like a payoff or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
maybe kind of like just got lost in the weeds a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was a good party until it wasn't.
Maybe on a first viewing, I maybe felt like the vampire showdown sort of stuff maybe wasn't quite as good as I was kind of hoping for. It was fine, you know, there was lots of bloodiness, there was lots of stakes through hearts and that sort of stuff. But I don't know, I maybe felt it was over a bit quick. Like there was a lot of build up and then it kind of like, okay, maybe that wasn't my favourite bit, I suppose.
Smoke. Why are you here?
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4
Okay.
for now.
Okay.
It feels like it should be a 4.
Yeah, okay. I'm not too far away from you. I think just a few kind of reservations for me. Like I said, maybe just a bit too much going on, and it could have just been done with tightening up a little bit there, and maybe the vampire section wasn't quite as kind of, didn't feel like the build-up was better than the actual event, I suppose. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it a lot, so I'm going to go a little bit below you and give it a 3.5. And
Yeah, I think that's about right.
but for now, that's all we've got for you. Let us know what you thought about Sinners if you've seen it, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.